Welcome to the ultimate steak experience, you lot. Today, we're diving into a sizzling hot list of the top 10 steaks you absolutely cannot miss. You think you know steak? You've come to the right place. Whether you're a seasoned steak connoisseur or just starting to appreciate a good piece of meat, this list is your Bible. We're talking about cuts so good, they'll make you want to close your eyes and savor every single bite. Get ready to learn, you donkey. We're about to crank up the heat and explore the world of steak like never before. First up, we've got the mighty ribeye. This is a classic for a reason, you hear me? It's got those beautiful streaks of fat running through it, which we call marbling, and that's what gives it that rich, beefy flavor. When you cook a ribeye, you want to make sure you render that fat down properly. Get a nice sear on the outside and cook it to your liking. Medium rare is usually the sweet spot for a ribeye, but if you want to ruin it and cook it well done, be my guest. You can grill it, pan-sear it, even roast it. No matter how you cook it, a good ribeye is a thing of beauty. Just make sure you season it properly with salt and pepper. Don't be shy with the seasoning. And listen, don't even think about cutting into that steak right after it comes off the heat. Let it rest for at least 5 minutes. That way, all those delicious juices will redistribute throughout the meat, and you'll have a juicy, flavorful steak. Trust me, a properly cooked ribeye is a religious experience. Next up is Wagyu, and let me tell you, this is not your average cut of beef. This is the stuff of legend, the Kobe Bryant of the steak world. Wagyu comes from Japan, and these cows are treated like royalty. They're massaged, they listen to classical music, they probably have their own personal chefs. And all that pampering results in some of the most tender, buttery, flavorful beef you'll ever taste. The marbling on Wagyu is off the charts. It's like a spiderweb of fat throughout the meat, and that's what gives it that melt-in-your-mouth texture. Now Wagyu can be pretty pricey, but trust me, it's worth every penny. If you're looking for a truly special occasion steak, this is it. Just be careful not to overcook it, because of all that fat, it cooks quickly. Now if you're looking for tenderness, look no further than the filet mignon. This cut comes from the tenderloin, which is a muscle that doesn't get much exercise. That means it's incredibly tender, like cutting through butter. Now some people might say that filet mignon lacks flavor. And while it's true that it doesn't have the same bold, beefy flavor as a ribeye or a New York strip, it's got a delicate, almost buttery flavor that's absolutely delicious. Because it's so lean, filet mignon can dry out quickly if you're not careful. So, you want to make sure you don't overcook it. A quick sear on each side is all you need. And don't be afraid to add some extra flavor with a sauce or a compound butter. A classic béarnaise sauce is always a good choice, or you could try something a little more adventurous, like a blue cheese butter. Alright, let's talk about the New York strip. This is a steak that's as iconic as the city it's named after. It's got that beautiful strip of fat running down one side, which keeps it juicy and flavorful, even when you cook it to a perfect medium rare. Now, the New York strip is a bit firmer than the filet mignon, but don't let that fool you. It's still incredibly tender and has a fantastic beefy flavor. And because it's a bit thicker than some other cuts, it can handle a good sear on the grill or in a hot pan. When you're cooking a New York strip, you want to make sure you get a nice crust on the outside, while keeping the inside juicy and pink. Don't be afraid to use a meat thermometer to make sure it's cooked to your liking. And here's a tip. Let the steak rest for at least 5 minutes after you cook it. This allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, resulting in a more flavorful and tender steak. So, if you're looking for a classic steak with bold flavor and a bit of chew, the New York strip is your go-to. Now for those of you who can't decide between a tender filet mignon and a flavorful New York strip, I've got the perfect solution, the T-bone. This bad boy has it all. You see that T-shaped bone running down the middle? That's where it gets its name. On one side of the bone, you've got the tenderloin, which is where the filet mignon comes from, and on the other side, you've got the top loin, which is where the New York strip comes from. So, with a T-bone, you're getting 2 steaks in one. It's like a culinary 2-for-1 deal. You've got the tenderness of the filet mignon and the bold flavor of the New York strip. What more could you ask for? Now, because the T-bone is a thick cut of meat, it takes a bit longer to cook than some of the other steaks on this list. But trust me, it's worth the wait. Just make sure you cook it evenly on both sides and let it rest before you slice into it. Listen up, because we're about to enter the big leagues of steak. The dry-aged porterhouse is a cut above the rest. And if you haven't had the pleasure, you're missing out. Think of it like a T-bone's bigger, bolder brother. It's got that same T-shaped bone, but with a larger portion of both the tenderloin and the top loin. More steak for you, and less for that useless sod next to you. But here's the kicker: dry aging. This process involves storing the beef in a temperature and humidity-controlled environment for weeks, even months. What does that do? It intensifies the flavor, making it richer, deeper, and more complex. Think of it like aging a fine wine, except it's a big, beautiful hunk of meat. Now, finding a good dry-aged porterhouse can be tricky, and it won't be cheap. But trust me, it's an experience you won't forget. Now, if you want to make a statement at your next barbecue, the tomahawk is your weapon of choice. This steak is a real showstopper. It's basically a ribeye with a long exposed bone, which gives it that impressive tomahawk-like appearance. And let me tell you, this steak is not for the faint of heart. It's massive, it's flavorful, and it's guaranteed to impress your guests. Just make sure you've got a grill big enough to handle it. When you're cooking a tomahawk, you want to treat it with respect. Start by seasoning it generously with salt and pepper. Then sear it over high heat to get a nice crust on the outside. Finally, reduce the heat and cook it to your liking. And don't forget to let it rest before you carve it. You want all those delicious juices to stay in the meat, not on your cutting board. Alright, let's talk about a steak that's fit for royalty, the Chateaubriand. This cut is all about elegance and refinement. It's taken from the thickest part of the tenderloin, so you know it's going to be tender. Now, the Chateaubriand is typically roasted whole and then sliced and served tableside. It's often accompanied by a rich sauce, like a béarnaise or a red wine sauce, and let's be honest, a little bit of sauce never hurt anyone, right? This is a steak that's meant to be savored. It's not something you just wolf down in front of the telly. This is a steak for a special occasion, a romantic dinner, or maybe even a business meeting where you want to impress your clients. So, if you're looking for a steak that's as sophisticated as it is delicious, the Chateaubriand is the way to go. Now, for those of you who are looking for something a little different, a little off the beaten path, let me introduce you to the hanger steak. This is a cut that's often overlooked, but trust me, it's a hidden gem. The hanger steak is a loosely textured cut that's incredibly flavorful. It's got a rich, beefy flavor that's almost like a cross between a ribeye and a skirt steak. And because it's so flavorful, it doesn't need a lot of fussing over. A little salt, a little pepper, and you're good to go. Now, the hanger steak is a bit tougher than some of the other cuts on this list, so it's important to cook it properly. You want to cook it over high heat to get a nice sear on the outside, and then finish it over low heat to make sure it's cooked through. And don't forget to slice it against the grain. This will help to break down the muscle fibers and make it more tender. Last but not least, we have the flat iron steak. Now, this cut might not be as well known as some of the others on this list, but don't let that fool you. It's a true contender in the steak world. The flat iron comes from the shoulder of the cow, and it's known for its incredible tenderness and rich beefy flavor. It's also a very versatile cut, meaning you can grill it, pan-sear it, or even slice it thin and use it for stir-fries. One of the things that makes the flat iron so great is its marbling. It has these beautiful streaks of fat running through it, which help to keep it juicy and flavorful during cooking. Now, when you're cooking a flat iron, you want to make sure you don't overcook it. It's a relatively thin cut, so it cooks quickly. A good sear on each side is all you need. And here's a tip. Let the steak rest for a few minutes after you cook it. This allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, resulting in a more flavorful and tender steak. There you have it, you lot. Our top 10 steaks that'll send you straight to steak nirvana. We've covered everything from the classics to the hidden gems. Remember, a good steak is all about quality ingredients and proper cooking techniques. So get out there, find your favorite cut, and get cooking. Now, I want to hear from you. Which one of these mouth-watering steaks is your absolute favorite? Head down to the comments and let me know. And if you think I missed any, well, you can tell me that too. Just try not to make a complete arse of yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any more of my culinary adventures. Until next time, keep it juicy.